Good afternoon. All right. Well, how are you all today? It's been one of those days. Can you guys hear me? I finally made it. Mind for happy faces. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. It's Friday. And, yeah, I was getting ready to come on a little while ago. I can hear you. Okay. And I got a phone call. And when you talk to your girlfriends, your sister friends, you have to spend a while. So that's what was going on. And much needed. We have been missing each other since last night. And then we got up early this morning. You hear echo, I hear echo. Like 5, 6 o'clock this morning, trying to catch each other. I don't know what's up with this echo, but finally happened. So I'm free now. But, that's some much needed time for myself because when I'm here with you all, I'm still not, I wouldn't say I'm not doing anything for myself, but it's more, it's a little more work than just chilling, having some me time. Here, you all are in my space, so there's no me time. That's not a bad thing, though. Okay, training. So, anywho, the topic is what is the topic? I forgot. The haves and have-nots. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Homeschooling the haves and the have-nots. And I do have a little bit of something that I want to talk about. Other than that, it's pretty much for you all to chat with me and everybody else on your thoughts. So who all is here? want to sit here and talk to myself. Hmm. 6. Have the rain. Yes, the rain did stop. It's just hot. I was just telling my sister, she called me. She said it's hot. I said, yes, ma'am. I just saw Satan himself sitting next to me in his drawers. It's hot. And no rain. We need some rain so we can cool off. I kind of held up on chats because it's just, I don't know, we just don't want to do anything. Even um, normal stuff. Just want to chill. The kids were outside earlier this week before it got too hot. But now, if you don't get your whatever in before 8 a.m., you can forget it. And 8 o'clock at night, it's still hot. So, mm, hopefully, those of you that have not spoken will speak sometime during this chat. Um, Homeschool topic. Is everybody still in school now? Or are you all taking a break? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I seen a video of them in the pool. Yeah, that was that one day it wasn't too hot. Now it's hot. The rain stopped, so I got them in the pool, but then it just got too hot. And they tried to stay in there all day, and then they said, I'm hot. It's okay. It's time to come in. Pool party over. Today, my boy's last day. Oh, okay. That's exciting. I know you're probably not ready. It's like, can we just have one more day? When they get out, they just want to hang and eat. I tell my kids, it's too hot to eat. I know a lot of families do. They say the food bill goes up in the summer because the kids are at home, but I never let my kids do that. It's fruit, vegetables, and that. You're not sitting there watching TV all day, running up my food bill. That's food and electricity. Go get a job. Yeah, that's a good thing I can sleep in on some days. Yes, and that is a good one. When they not bugging you, talking about what's for breakfast. All right, so I'm gonna just jump in here really quick and get this. Hi, Mimi. How are you? Hope you all are well. All right. Now I know somebody might be wondering about this topic. Yay, my twins are going to continue to go to daycare, and all the boys will go to the Boys and Girls Club. For happy faces says, well, that's good. Give them something to do. No idle time. My kids can cook their own breakfast. Yeah, that's what you do. Teach them how to cook. Even my little ones know how to go and get themselves something. Not that I'm asleep, but yeah, something I've never been able to do is sleep. All right, so homeschooling the haves and the have-nots. A lot of what I see, a lot of what I hear, and things like that kind of brought this on. It's not any one person in particular, but just in the community and people in general. They use electric appliances, but I still have to be in the kitchen. Definitely. And for one, like I said, some of you may be wondering about the topic. And is there some bias or something? Kind of there is, but not really. And, I haven't really seen anybody coined, I'm going to say, like this. It's just not something in the community is taboo. Everybody wants to know about budget or something, but nobody really wants to say what they have. Okay. So homeschooling is an economic challenge for many families, mine as well. And oftentimes it takes extra work and creativity to make it work. So you all know, that's what I show you. The work, the creativity, and the work. My question to you is, are you worthy? Are you yourself worthy of that extra time and that creativity? I don't want to go too deep into it, but I know a lot of people, homeschooling is my calling. I've done all this research and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? Nobody talks about the haves and the have-nots because there is a division among us. Whether anybody wants to put it out there or not, there's a big division. And I already talked about it in the chat about the emotional side of social media. Okay, everybody has succumbed to this social media, and it has everybody feeling some type of way, whether you want to admit it or not. That's why I don't really. I try to post everything I post responsibly and not make anybody feel that type of way if I can help it. But some people, they're going to be in their feelings regardless. I don't look at anybody's social media in envy or try to imitate or anything. That's just not me. I set my own. We live within our own means. Okay. So in homeschooling, I talked about homeschooling not being cheap. Nobody really wants to put that out there. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I have a big question. That, are you worthy of the time and the work, the creativity? Okay. You might have to make things. You might have to borrow things. You have to be creative when it comes to homeschooling. You also have to have money. I'm going to just put that out there right now. You have to have money. There is no way around this. A few of the most important things for me is being clear and realistic about our family's priorities and crafting a realistic budget. Making homeschooling work for us is just pretty non-negotiable. It has to work. Now you can take that or leave it. That's just the option I've chosen, but we all know tomorrow happens. So, but there is no I'm going to give up or I'm going to stop because of this. And I think what happens is that everybody thinks because we're homeschooling that there's no limit. There actually is a limit. Okay? Money, resources. So, because it's non-negotiable, we have to make adjustments in other areas of our family. And that's where you have to just kind of step out. I step out. I'm courageous like that. I will try to do the impossible. Courage and creativity fosters a sense of richness and abundance while keeping our economical balance. So it might not be the prettiest, whatever. Let me show you something. Now that I've thought about it, I have one handy because I've been seeing these all the time, and I don't know. I can't remember if I shared them or not, but I've been seeing people run to the dollar store for these things. And I'm like, really? I know they're only $1, but still. These readers, okay? They come decorated, and they're either like this or they're in a strip where you put this over the page. They're page readers, and they the kids can see either you can see a word or you can see the sentence. You could go buy those. Of course, it's going to cost you some gas. You say it only costs $1, but guess what? It costs you gas. It costs you time to get the kids up and get out the door. Or you can make them. I've been using these things. But like I said, I just started seeing these things floating around in these halls. Be creative. So yeah, I could put stickers on it and stuff, but that's not even the point. And the kids use them just fine. They work just the same. But it didn't cost me no more than what I already had. Some cardstock and laminating sheets in 2 minutes. Um, so you see that a lot of things that I share, I'm more apt to share things that I make or resources that I find rather than things that I just see, in the store or in the catalogs and things like that. Because I have the time and I'm willing to put in the work and I know that that's the payoff. A lot of times when you see all of this, you know, perfect, let's go to the store, let's buy this and bring this home and we're going to use this. You have to know that there's a sacrifice. Normally there's one person working in the family. So guess what? That dad because it's normally dad, is probably working overtime. That dad may be working 2 jobs. So that family never sees that dad. But yet they have this, that, and the third. So you know that that is a sacrifice. So that's why I said you have to be realistic. Is that what you want? And you also have to understand that you might have to go that far when it comes to homeschooling. A couple things that I've learned is, like I said, take advantage of resources, even if it's hand me down. Okay, if you see, I know a lot of people have book swaps, curriculum swaps, um, library book sales, things like that. Take advantage of them. If somebody wants to give you something or send you something, it would be wise to accept it. Don't, oh, well, we don't do this, or I have to check with so and so. Well, then you're just going to sell yourself short because you could be getting some real good resources. But if you're sitting there trying to reject something, um, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. So, especially if you're the one that is using it, I understand that you have to, as parents and as husband and wife, you have to work together. But at the same time, if you're the one using it, it should not be that big of a question. If the two of you are on the same page, it should not be that much consultation when it comes to taking something. That's just like going to the store. Do you have to get approval every time you go buy something? If that's the case in your home, then that is going to create a lot of friction in homeschooling. Here I have the freedom to, of course, we have limitations and budgets and things, but I don't have to consult for purchases. The both of us may see something, not even, if we have the money on hand, we don't consult each other. We just go buy it and it's used. If we don't have the money, we're not going to buy it. But we have an understanding. It's for the kids. And so it's not like I'm not going to get some, I don't know, I can't even think of something, but hi, Charlie, Charlie's second angel. I'm not going to get something ridiculous, brought home to me saying, here, use this, and it's just something completely stupid, or same thing. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to go buy this and it just serves us no purpose. I'm not doing that. We know each other. That's where you have family meetings and you have to get on the same page. So yeah, you want to take advantage of any resources that you can because you never know, especially if you're just starting out. But if you if you connect with people that are giving you things, like I know they do this often, military homeschool families often pass things along. And if somebody knows, okay, I gave this to so and so and they appreciated it, then guess what? They're going to continue to give. But if you turn your nose up at it, oh, I don't want this because it's used, or children's exposure to mainstream marketing from day one. And that's just because you don't want them exposed to all kind of things because that leads to the gimmies. And, the gimmies can get pretty outrageous and expensive. I'm sitting here looking out the window. But, yeah, you guys know if you follow me on Instagram. This thing that they got going out, it's just all the rage. These fidget spinners. Y'all know these are the original fidget spinners. Okay? You let your kids on social media and watching TV and all that kind of stuff. They got you running to every store in the city. And then that one store doesn't have that particular one. I don't even know what the mess is all about. But I want this kind, not that kind. They got this kind, not that. Yeah. Mm-mm. All right, did this just start? I just started. Really, I just got into it, but I'm kind of halfway through my notes. Carla, thank you for joining. So just go back and watch the first 30 minutes and you're good. So, but yeah, you want to limit because, social media and TV and all that, all it is commercialism. And that taps into your budget. It taps into your program, you know. My kids aren't clamoring for the latest gadgets and stuff like that because they know that that type of marketing just hasn't had the opportunity to create a need for, in their thinking. So you need to, like I say, cut expenses. I have not been a part of a live video for, well, thank you, Arla. Like I said, thank you for joining. You are doing just what you're supposed to do. I appreciate the comments. So everybody can read your comments, and I just read the comments so that everybody watching on the replay knows what everybody else said, not just myself. Charlie's second angel. I was just talking about this to my sister today. I was blessed with a used car seat for my baby. That saved me $6,200 right there. It's Kate on time. I felt blessed for that free car seat. Exactly. Exactly. And some people, I don't want, I don't want to take that, the first baby thing or even the second baby. We don't want hand-me-downs. Okay, well, fine. Keep God, give it to somebody else. But that's called blocking your blessings, especially when it's something that you know that you could use. I have been on the receiving end and the giving end, and it just, it works both ways. So I was saying, you have to cut your expenses. I know a lot of times, TV in general, internet, cable, Hulu, Netflix, Roku, all of that stuff. That is an extra expense. It's not something that we have to have. There are ways around what you need. So when it comes to homeschooling, again, and you're thinking about the economical side, are you just leaning more towards the half side just because? Can you actually afford to have that? There have been many times, now you all know I just not that long ago got the cable back, and that was because I wanted internet access so I can print things because we don't do the library. That's another thing. A lot of people, oh, we go to the library. You buy a lot of books. Yeah, I do. But you know what I see? When I see we go to the library, the next video, oh, we got 50, 60, $70 in library fines. I could have just bought all the books and avoided the library fines. So that's the reason why I don't bother with the library. Okay? It's cheaper for me to buy them. And when you add that up and you constantly do that, oh, we're just going to use the library, you're really throwing away money. Yeah, I wanted the internet to be able to print things. And myself with two. It just kind of in the same grade. It kind of worked out better that way. But there have been many times when this right here, I don't even bother with the bill. It's not because I don't have it. It's not a necessity. We have a house phone, okay, and I do have internet. I got internet, this type of phone for internet because we didn't have internet. But sometimes I don't have to use this phone, so I will not pay the bill on purpose. Some people, that's just the death of them. Oh, you can't cut off my cell phone. I'm not on a contract, so I can do that. And that was another reason why I did away with what I had, because I didn't want to be stuck with a contract. It does everything I need it to do. And when I don't want to be bothered with it, I don't have to be bothered with it. It's a little bit of money I can put elsewhere. Um, Let me go back to my other couple more things. So instead of, media driven entertainment, we focus on homegrown recreation. Okay. The children use their creativity, their imaginations, and whatever materials we have on hand. We use music a lot. We play music as a way to entertain ourselves. We tell stories. The kids might put on a little play or a little show. We go for walks. We just keep things basic and simple. Okay? So it does not stress us out trying to get all these halves. Okay? We choose whether or not we want these halves. I'm at a place right now, I don't want the halves. I've had the halves. I don't need the halves. My younger self probably would not agree as much. I would still be saying I have to have this, but I don't have to have all that stuff. Let's see. Deanna W says, I agree. Cheaper to buy books. Yes, it is. Like I said, it's those that don't realize, they don't realize till the fine bill comes. And, like I say, you have to get to the library. So that's a gas right there if you're not within walking distance. The adjustments, okay, you have to be realistic about curriculum purchases. Deanna W says, I'm willing to dish out more money for high school level if I can reuse with the young ones. You are very smart. Willing to dish out more. Yes. I'm getting ready. This is my last point, but we're not done with the chat. Like I said, there are adjustments you have to make about curriculum purchases. So my question for all of you is homeschooling the more affordable option for your family and why? Okay. Like I said, not many people are going to touch this because everybody says, oh, homeschool is this, is that, is that, is that. Homeschool is not free, y'all. Homeschool has freedom attached to it, but homeschooling is not free. Okay? It's not cheap. Now, you talk about putting a kid in school, in public school, we pay the taxes. Just that and the teacher's salary, that's about 200 grand a year. That's not even considering their textbooks. Okay? And the curriculum. Okay? Because they're using a top-notch curriculum. You have your kids at home because you don't want to put them in the school because of influences, but you want a shirt on the curriculum. Do you know how much that curriculum costs? It's a lot of money. So that's why I said, is it homeschooling the more affordable option? Some of you say it is, but the reality is you don't want to shell out the money. We don't have it. For some, yes, you have to humble yourself and say, it is money and we don't have it. Not to say you can't get it, because there are ways. You have to sacrifice. You have to be willing to take hand-me-downs, resources, advice, things like that. Okay, there are ways to do it. But you don't want to cut the quality of what you're using just because you don't have the money. It's not the money out. That's the main concern. Exactly. It's the returns. So yeah, you might have, like I talked about in the last chat, you might have to put out $300 or $400 on one child on a curriculum, their curriculum for the year, and you might have to do that year after year. And you have to actually, you have to honestly look at that. Do you have that money right now? And you're saying, I've been called to do this. Do you have that money, and how are you going to get it? Because if you don't have it, you have some fast decisions to make. Wait, I need them again. Now, I just, told you all a couple of sacrifices. There's another sacrifice. I'm not going to get into that right now, but that is what keeps us afloat around here. Okay? I'm not saying we can't afford this, but if there was something else, we would not be able to afford it. My child in college, if I was paying a tuition, we would not be able to afford to homeschool this way. Not saying that I wouldn't do it. We don't have a choice. Because I certainly wouldn't have, means to be going out and buy this and that if I'm trying to help with a tuition. It just wouldn't work that way. But like I said, you have to really examine your family in its right now economic state and think about tomorrow. Is homeschooling going to be something that is going to break the bank to no return? Again, I'm not trying to deter anybody. This is more of an eye-opener, okay? For some families, there are other options other than just homeschooling. Like we talked about, online public school, that might be a better option for you because you get the material sent to you and you don't have to worry about it. But again, you would not want to send your kid to school. You would be upset if you're paying, to put your child in school and the teacher is using something from the dollar store. This is not going to cut it. I'm not saying you have to go out and buy the most expensive, top of the line, uh, you know, corrected, self-corrected curriculum, that type of thing. You don't have to do that. But you really have to think, because what you might pick, what you spend all this time researching, may not work. And then what? This one's what I needed before. I just used a broken piece of boxing. Okay. Rectangle to make a shield. All right. I need you to stay in there, though, because you don't have a shirt on. And so, and then if you have one and then you end up having another child like that needs some specialized curriculum, how are you going to maintain that? year after year after year. I know I'm talking to you all, but I really, I would like some feedback. Am I just, is it over your head? Am I just not making any sense? Does it make sense? But I really like that it's not the money that's going out that's the main concern. It's the returns. Exactly. I know what I signed up for. We know what we signed up for. If we have to put out XYZ, you know, it's okay. He's not going to take any more dollars. We already know that, and we know what we have to adjust in order to maintain that. He won't still. He still hit me. He's not hitting you. Yes, he is gonna hit me when I come in the living room. Tell him that I said he's not allowed to do that. Okay. All right. Thank you. What's your wild hair? So yeah, and then sometimes we buy things that we may not even we would like to be able to pass it along to the next child, but just it might not work either for the next child. So again, you have to make adjustments. See, Charlie's second angel, your cloth diapers. Cloth diaper videos help me save hundreds of dollars. I now know how to cloth diaper. Strip them when washing them. I even do meatless dinners for my family. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And yeah, I have yet to share, and I'm going to. I'm going to share my entire cloth diaper stash because I've never shared all of it. And I know this is so off topic, but I kind of backed off because I got a lot of flack about you can't possibly have that many diapers. And it just, the wow factor, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I was experimenting. So, let me see. I got hold on. Yeah, I was experimenting. So, I needed to, I needed those diapers. But a lot of people could not understand what or why. And it really wasn't for them to understand anyway, but still. It was just more of, I don't know if they were jealous or what. I don't care. But, yeah. There are a lot of them. Normally, I think the most I've ever seen somebody with was 350. I have well over 350 diapers. So, yeah, no brainer. But I need to share that so that I have an estimate of how many. But, because I just never shared it. So, I'll get to that. But yeah, that has saved tons and tons and tons of money. So again, me cloth diapering was also a big help in funding what you see in this room. Okay, so there's a sacrifice. Not everybody can do that. Things that I do work together. The way I shop, groceries, the way I uh, prepare meals and things like that. All of that works towards this homeschooling. We have to do things in a certain order around here. And that's what keeps us going. And we're at a place where I can't really say that um, it hasn't worked. Everything has been working fine. And even if we had setbacks, we'll be fine. So, but a lot of people are not prepared for that. Emphasis, the working parent is no longer working. Okay, then what? Okay, what if, it's time for new curriculum and when the parent is no longer working and you don't have income? What happens? Both of you are capable of going to work. That is something that should already be planned. Is pretty much what I'm saying. So set yourself up accordingly. Especially if you're using a box curriculum or you're using a particular um, curriculum, like if you're using, um, I don't know, Matthew C or teaching textbooks or something like that, and it's like the core thing. You're that's what you've been using all along, and then you suddenly have this lost income. What happens? So I don't really hear too much about it. Sometimes we can draw our own conclusions, but this is what a lot of people don't talk about in the homeschool community. Or you hear about, I wish I had that. And I would say, instead of wishing, if it's something that you really want, what can you sacrifice to make that wish happen after you find out that it is truly a need? Don't just wish it, because we can all wish. It doesn't mean we need it. Again, is homeschooling the more affordable option for your family, and why? Anybody would like to share why homeschooling is affordable? Is the more affordable option? I know some people, the fact that okay, they get the, well, we don't have to get up. We're not spending extra money on gas to get to work. Okay, so that kind of happens in every household. We're not using buying extra clothes. That kind of happens in every household, because you don't need extra clothes. Food, some people are still trying to balance that out, because a lot of times I see homeschoolers and they don't have that food thing down. They're eating more because they're at home. If your homeschool is in the kitchen or in the dining room, you might want to move it further away from the kitchen, because that right there just entices you to eat. Um, that's what I was going to say. Um, those are the common things. I'm talking about the uncommon. Okay, this is why I said this: the have and the have-nots. Okay, I'm not. This is what has caused the division among us, and it's not really. It's not really that big a deal. It's just how I label this. Some of us are living like we are the haves, and we are actually the have-nots. And some of us that are the have-nots, that live like we're the have-nots, are actually the haves. We're just too selfish to give up all of the luxuries. Okay? I gotta go get the blue fidget spinner because he didn't like the green one. All the while I'm saying, you better take that ruler and that pencil and go spin that, and don't hit nobody with it. Having family that supports my decision to homeschool has helped us financially. Arla says, yes, that really does help. And before I go any further, there is something. The kids came to me about this fidget spinners, and I did blog a little bit. I turned it into a math problem. They asked about if I had, no, what I told them, I said, well, if you had $5 and we went to Target, how many could you buy? And then we went to, if you had $30. No, 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 no. What it was if you had $5. Then we said, what if everybody in the house had $5? How many would we get all together? And then somebody wanted to step out and say, well, if I had $100 or $200, then I would get this many. And I said, well, son, you only have two hands. What you gonna do with all of them? And where you gonna put them? So, but anyway, we're gonna leave that there. But I'm seriously, it's serious. Yeah, some of us do have family that, support, and some of us have family that support financially, and that's a blessing. That goes back to what I said about, those of you that have celebrate birthdays and things like that. What is this other thing? Tooth fairies and all of that. That's a luxury. Okay, ask the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncles, and things like that for books. Ask them for curriculum. Okay. Some families actually have they have grandparents actually contributing monthly to their homeschooling, and that's how they make it. They don't disclose that, but that's what they do. And some do it because their families are on opposite sides of the country, and they don't get to see them as often. So the grandparents or the other family want to contribute. That's the sacrifice. Okay, they may not have to go and take the gas or money to go buy plane tickets or what have you. It's a sacrifice. Let's see. Arla says my two grandsons, ages 6 and 7, have been begging for a fidget spinner. I don't have a problem with them getting one, but they have to earn the money to buy it. Exactly. Yeah. I don't. It's a joke, y'all. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just not getting ready to go to the store for the purpose of buying fidget spinners. If we go to the store and they happen to see them, I might let them get it. It's a joke, but I'm not running, because they saw this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I see it, and I'm not ordering it either. Vicky says, I've seen DIY fidget spinner videos using popsicle sticks. Yes, it's a whole bunch of ways to make them. So like I said, that's where you come in with that creativity. Are you want to just go run and buy them, or can you be creative and let them make it? My kids make it. They use Connects. They've been making those things. So while they can use their mind and their creativity, I'm going to let them do that. I'm not going to let the influence of social media and TV, because after this, it's going to be something else. Okay, we're in the latter part of the year. Christmas is coming up, and it's gonna be all kind of crazy stuff released. Obviously, the bulk of our homeschooling, we financially supply the means, but it's wonderful when grandparents buy Zoo Pass or Museum Pass. Yes, that's exactly what I said in the last chat. Besides books and curriculum, ask them for that for the kids' birthdays, because those types of things will get you a lot further. Like we're buying getting ready to get the museum pass and theater tickets. We have children's theater, so we're just going to buy the season deals, and that's it. Those things, because you can go over and over, and it's paid for with all of us. The first time we go, it's paid for. So we're more apt to put money into something like that than let me go get this right here. That helps a lot, right? There's always going to be the next new fad. Yeah, we don't do fads. Take this paper and go in there and make it or something. And if you all don't know, our current read alouds, one of our current read alouds is Ramona. And that's what's in this bin, all Ramona. And we're on Ramona and her father now. But in Ramona the Brave, as much I like Ramona, but sometimes that's why we read more than one book. Sometimes we'll read one in the daytime and some the other one, or maybe two at bedtime. But Ramona is so creative. Even though she's a nuisance, she's really creative. And the kids really enjoyed when she lost her shoe. She threw the shoe at the dog and she lost the shoe, and she went to she didn't want to wear the old boot that the teacher was offering her. So she said, I'm going to go get some tissue, some school tissue out of the bathroom, the paper towels, and make me a shoe. And so the creativity, things like that, that's what I like to put in front of my kids so they can see other examples. Even though it's just a book, that book is significant. What do you have? Oh, you have the magnets to the monkey. So, and then, the story goes, or the little chapter, because it's like the end of the book. She made her little slipper out of the paper and a stapler, and then she went on to say, I could have did a better job. Her teacher acknowledged that the shoe was really good, and she said, I could have did a better job if I had a slipper, if I had scissors and crayons. So she let her go ahead and use the scissors and crayons. So it's things like that. When my kids see stuff, I like to give them the opportunity to make things. We have one that's always making and doing. He's kind of like MacGyver around here. And one thing that we have not gotten but have talked about are snap circuits. So the maturity level, that's what we're waiting on, because snap circuits are expensive. You all know that, but yeah. And I think she would like that too, because she likes to create. They get that from their dad. IT consultant, so building computers and things, that's right up the alley. But yeah, that's something that we intend on investing in. And if it turns into, I like this, I really like this, I want this, and I want this, and I want that, we already know that we've set ourselves up for that. That means we have to make another adjustment somewhere else. Not that he's going to get every kit, but we want to see something come out of it. You need to go get a shirt on, please. Gianna W. subscriber enjoyed your video about free PDFs online. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's another thing. You have to put in work, put in time to find things that you need. They're not always going to be something you could just go into the store, look up online, let me buy this. There's so much stuff I could have bought, and then I think I have to house all of that stuff. Just the little curriculum books that they have, I don't like. It's a lot. It is a lot, and just having to move all that stuff. So if I can find a PDF somewhere, I'm good. So they are out there. You just have to, know what you're looking for. But again, it saves you money, especially not having to thing about PDFs is you're not wasting books. A lot of times you get into these work texts and you don't use them all. The kids don't need the skill, every single skill in that book. You skip around and you've wasted half the book. With a PDF, you only print out what you need. And same thing with the ebook. So, and they're actually cheaper than buying the printed book. And then there's no storage. So, yeah, or very little storage. If Arlos is asking how many of you find good homeschooling book supplies at yard sales. I have found some really good treasures at yard sales. Yes, you have. You find some good things. I agree to that. It's like me in a thrift store, but I try not to get every little thing that I see just because it's cheap. You know, we could, like I said, I could buy everything, anything. I just don't. But yeah, I enjoy looking at your videos. But I tend to overdo it sometimes. I have to think. The first thing I think before I buy something is the storage. Where am I going to put it? And so every day I have to put back 20 things because I don't have anywhere to put it. Okay, so when I do show you all something, know that it just took me a long time to get it because where am I going to put it? I pass up so much stuff every day. If I had just, turn on the camera and let you guys see like my free time or in service or whatever, see all the stuff I pass up. And a lot of it is cheap. But I just don't have anywhere to put it. And I'm like, ooh, if so-and-so, I should call or I should tell so-and-so. And I just don't want to, put up videos like that every 5 minutes because I find stuff all of the time. But if it's something I know somebody asked me specific for, I will contact you and let you know, hey, go over here. Yeah, I run across so much stuff. I shared Answers in Genesis, the Bible curriculum. I've seen all of them $20 on eBay. And I showed you it's $35, I think, on sale. But I've seen them. I'm like, man, look at all of these lots of this and that, and even the other curriculum that we use, Answers in Genesis. I've seen, and we don't need all this stuff. So you also have to set a limit. You have to set a limit, even if you are going to the dollar store. You have to set a limit because that dollar store will get you every time. And I'm not, you could go anywhere, and I'm not just gonna say dollar store. It could be Target or any store. They have things on clearance. It could be $1, but that dollar could get you. You need to make sure that it's actually something that you actually need, not just because it's $1. I'm going to get this. You know, be mindful of that dollar. I'm gonna sit and say, okay, if I add $2 to it or $5 more to it, what can I get? How far is it gonna last? And like I say, them fads come and go, and then when it's broken or it's tossed aside, you have to go on to the next thing. We don't do fads. Yeah. So, um, yeah, are you all worthy? So sit and spend some time really um, taking the time to think through things and really planning and praying over your homeschool. Really, when you pray over things, really pray over them. And it's not easy. A lot of times you're not going to get an immediate answer, but sometimes you're going to get an answer that you don't want. And you need to be willing to accept that because, like I said, this is a sacrifice. It's an economic sacrifice to homeschool your children, and not everyone is willing to accept that sacrifice. They want to do it all. They want to have, and you simply cannot have. Nobody I know homeschooling has unlimited funds, unlimited resources. I don't see that. And if they do, they're not sharing. I will share with you all something to buy. I will also share how to make it or how to get it for free. That's the first way I'll show you. And then how to get it at a reduced cost. But you have to be mindful that you have to spend money to homeschool. I said the average curriculum, box curriculum, homeschool curriculum, easily run about $800 for a full curriculum. I would say anywhere from 8 is kind of high, but anywhere from 5 to 8. You have to know that is what you're going to be spending per head per year. And how you do that is the work. Okay? And if you just looked at that, like, again, we're going to go back to what I said, public school. That's 200 grand, and that's not including the curriculum. So that's the reason why sometimes it is the more affordable option to put them in school, even if it's online. because you might start out strong, and if something happens, you might not be able to continue to homeschool kids due to a budget constraint that you did not foresee. And, no, there's just no way to foresee all of them. But when I talk to people about homeschooling, I'm always trying to find out, is this, how serious do you consider homeschooling? Is it homeschooling a priority? Is there, like I said, there's no other way for us. Are you serious about this being no other way? So that means you're going to sacrifice down to all your luxuries. And if you can really say that wholeheartedly, your husband too, because we didn't have cell phones back in the day. You don't need a cell phone. The reality is you don't need one. You want one. Well, that's the first thing. The tablets. Oh, I got to have my phone. No, you don't. Not unless you have a job that you have to use one. And in that case, they're going to provide it. My kids will tell you on my dad's phone, he has a couple. He works for the state, so he has company phone. He has company laptop. He does not have to have personal. And so, we know that's the first thing we would not pay is our own personal because we don't need them. It's a convenience. So you have to cut off your conveniences. If you go out somewhere and you like to go out to eat all the time, you're going to have to cut your convenience. You're going to grab coffee at Starbucks or wherever. That's your convenience. You're going to have to sacrifice that. Your food budget, you need to cut in half. You need to come up with a more reasonable plan, and that's why I talked about the cooking. You know, uh, coming up with a meal plan, coming up with a reasonable budget, learning how to stockpile things. Some of y'all eating steak when you can't afford ground beef. Okay? That's just the reality of things. If you have the children copy the problems out on paper and solve, instead of writing the book, you can reuse many books through years with multiple children. Picky, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Even if it is a consumable. Yes. And I shared that the other way you can do that. Some pencil sharpener. Some of you guys don't know this trick. There's two ways you can do this, but I have one right here. I might have another one. Laminating sheets. Okay? You can also do this with I have one right here. These things, sheet protectors. You slip the sheet protector down the side, slide it over the book. You take this, in fact, I can't. You take this, drop the stack of book, and you take the book, you take the book, and of course this is not one that they write in, but and you just slide it over there and let them do it. And there's your reusable, consumable book. Share. Share. Sheet protectors are cheaper, but it just depends on the brand and the type. And the same thing with the laminated sheets, because some of them don't wipe as clean. And if I usually keep some just for this purpose. So, and then yeah, you guys know I love binder clips. So you can use a paper clip or a binder clip and just clip it on the book, and that's how it stays on there. But yeah, you can turn any book into a consumable, reusable consumable. So yeah. Um, even if it's something you're not particularly sure of. Excuse me. Um, if it's something somebody gave you or something you picked up at, like a little sale or something, and you just had to get it, and you're not sure it's going to work, use it as a reusable consumable. Fun with four. Hi, how are you? Um, nice of you to join. Yes, sheet protectors are overhead. Sheet protectors are clip. Yeah. So that's why if you guys saw my in-service video the other day, you know I love finder clips. Okay, I see what you mean. I thought you took yours apart. No, I can't. If I might, some of them, it just depends. Some workbooks I will just copy. It just depends. If it's a whole lot, a really thick workbook, I'm not going to copy all of that. Especially if it's for the twins. But if it's just for the 5-year-old and then it's going to go to the 4-year-old, then it's not big a deal. But yeah, some of them I just copy. But the ones that only have one of and I just don't want to make copies, we'll just use the sheet protector or the laminating sheet. So yeah, you have to, things like that. Just little tips. You have to be on the lookout for things like that. More so, let me go look at this haul. You're not gonna get tips. I try to weave the tips in with the video, so hopefully you all pay attention. But sometimes it's something small, and I don't feel like making one little video just for that. So, Arla says the public schools around here throw away curriculum at the end of the school year. I've got lots of books that way. Yes, they do. Every school does, and a lot of them are they haven't been used. That's what they have to do. They just discard them. And a lot of parents do know that they will go before school is out, and especially if you have a teacher friend. But they will go and ask the teachers, and if not, they just know to go look by the school dumpster, and because the teachers are not supposed to sell the books, but sometimes they do. And a lot of times they will end up in Goodwills and things like that, and thrift stores. But the majority of the time it's because they adopted a new program and those books had never been used. Like when Common Core came in, a lot of the like a lot of my stuff is not. I get all non-Common Core majority. Um, the I should say the core curriculum. Um, but when they switched it, switched the program across the country, we're not a Common Core state. But once they switched it, the schools had to get rid of all that curriculum. And so they just threw it in the trash. So again, you have to be resourceful. Friends from our church who were teachers had given me curriculum to use instead of trash it. Yes, yes. It's about who you know. Church is a good place because church is full of teachers. When you go into the buy school supplies, teachers are buying school supplies. You never know who you might meet. When you're in a bookstore, you never know. You might be, or in a specific teacher supply store. You might run into an actual school teacher that is willing to help you out. And yet they complain about budget cuts, but they are throwing away yeah, that's the district. Throwing away perfectly good books, Arlen. Yes, they are. I'm shaking my head too. But, I used to bring all mine home, and just because I had the summer kids and all the child care kids, I would bring all the stuff home. Like I'm glad you caught that the other day in that video, Arla. What is it? You know what we use? Spelling connections. We had, and in fact, we had that particular book. I had a whole bunch of those one year because there was just so many extra copies, and the math books we used too. But yeah, I so appreciate that error, and it was funny right after I put it up, I caught it, and I just did not feel like taking it down to go back and edit it, and I'm like, well, I could just show a picture, but we had actually figured that error out, and yeah, and the kids were like, Mom, that's not a bus, and I said, yeah, it's not a bus because it's not yellow, but in the moment, I thought it was a mistake because I could not get that connection of what that picture was saying. So, yeah. But that just shows that you pay attention to the detail in the video. Overhead protector sheets work. Would they clip? Work. Found the box cheap, but not too many people use. Yes, not too many people use overhead protectors these days. And there's another good resource. You can find that stuff in thrift stores and eBay. Run and check on them because I heard somebody nailed on the floor. Thank you. Pick them up and put them back up there where I had them. So what? The boxes. And Mom, you don't go to the store. You don't really need to go to the store. You just don't know what to do with yourself, do you? You trying to come up with all kind of creative things. The store is not one of them. Come up with something else. All right. A resource. All it says a resource that I cannot do without is a whiteboard or chalkboard. I happen to have both. Yeah, we have both too. We have both of them. I use the whiteboard more than the chalkboard, but the kids mainly use the chalkboard. I am more apt to use chalkboard paint and paint the wall. So, the cost of a whiteboard can be expensive when you want a large one, but you can go to the lumber store. Yes, Home Depot and Lowe's, all that stuff is a shower panel. Excuse me. And a lot of times you might find huge pieces of it. They can cut it for you, but it's a lot cheaper if you don't find a whiteboard like at the thrift store or something. Yeah, you can get a whole wall piece, and I'm talking like long, large for 14. Yes. So, and those the huge ones are very expensive. Yeah, they're not magnetic. So, you can use magnetic paint. Yes, because I don't really use the magnets for it anyway. Yeah, I don't either. I use it for the purpose of writing something. If I have to stick something up there, I just kind of tack it up there with a little piece of tape because it's something that's not permanent. Um, so invest in your sheet protectors and your overhead sheets and your laminating sheets. I get a 100 pack for $10, and that's with free shipping. In fact, I'm getting ready to order some more. And that's the one thing I have to keep up with. I'm going to order 2 this time, and then I should have enough for a long while. Even though I just opened this, I don't know if I shared that, but I just opened this box. It's because I had a lot of stuff waiting that I held off on, and I used it. And gosh, it's only been, I just opened this box right before we moved, and it looks like I used probably half of them, maybe more than half. They usually get here in 2 days. I'm going to order some more, and they're going to be good to go. In case anybody is wondering, and they are on eBay. 975 supply.com, $10. That's one thing I don't do at Office Depot. Everything else I get at Office Depot, but that cost me $70 at Office Depot. It has to be a very dire. Only had to happen one time when I really needed them. And so yeah, that was $70, and it wasn't even 100. What was it? I don't know. Yeah. Phone for we went to a used curriculum sale last week, and they offered half price on items. After one, we were able to pick up some deals on manipulatives and games. Yes, that's a good one. You have to, like I said, be on the lookout for deals. If you are fortunate to be a part of a co-op, or you know friends that homeschool, swap things out. Even if you are your immediate family homeschool, swap things. You have a sister homeschooling her kids and the kids are along the same age, swap. Excuse me. That way you have more resources. I get my little sheets from Sam's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam's Costco is also a good deal. But again, if you want to be like me, I don't like to go anywhere because that's gas. So I try to outsource everything I can. I use the internet for everything I can because I'm paying for it. I am not getting up and leaving this house if I don't have to. What do you want, Lena?
Nothing. He's trying to put my bear in the bathtub.
And don't put her bear in the bathtub.
He's trying to take a real shower.
2 of my daughters homeschool their children, and I'm homeschooling 3 of my grandkids. What's the matter? What happened to you? Who did that?
No one. The water is clear.
No. Well, it's dry.
Well, can you turn this on?
You want me to turn the pan on to dry your pants?
Yeah.
No.
I said the turn.
You're gonna turn around. She's trying to. She is trying to dry her pants. Turn around. She has water. Turn around. Alice says we share resources. Yes, that is the way to go. One was
He
for
already did it.
picked up an old mirror and a
See?
nice frame. Go set that in the
Laundry
laundry room and have a seat. Picked up an old mirror in a nice frame. I plan on removing the broken mirror and replacing it with shower board. Yes, for a nicer looking dry erase board. Yes, love the creativity. Love it. I am using some of the same curriculum for my grandsons that I used with their mom when I homeschooled her. All it says, that is awesome. And that's what you want to do. Try to find the things that, old school. Old school. Just, I like to look at the new stuff, but yeah, some of this new stuff, when I really, when I see it, it looks really good, but then when I do my own research, I have to really study it and figure out how it actually works. There's like, I don't know, it doesn't look as good as when it was first presented. Because I'm like, wait a minute, this goes from this concept to this concept. It doesn't even make sense when you actually look at it for yourself. Okay, I know you talked about the old school hooked on phonics. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I've seen the new one, and um, I will put them in a dryer in a few minutes. Go ask Layla to come here. So you will go in. No, you can't do that on the camera. Go in the laundry room and change your clothes. Let's see. Change her clothes. I guess she gave up on the fan drying her clothes. But yeah, the old one is a lot better because it is. You only have to buy one thing. You don't have to keep replacing those kits. And with eBay, you could find that thing for $10, $20, and you what? Okay, we'll get a new shirt too. It as I was saying, the old one covers all grades. What is the matter? Tariq, stop. If you made her get wet and now you want to start. But yeah, it covers all the grades. And now that it's broken up, I mean, only thing is all the color, the DVDs, all that, glitz and glam. That's extra. I would rather take the sacrifice, even if I didn't, if I did not know about the old version and I was just looking at that curriculum, knowing myself, I would choose the old version because you get more for your money. They found a way to get more of your money now by selling. Yes, they did. Yeah. Yep, they sure did. So we don't partake of, like I said, the sacrifice, and I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not a horrible sacrifice at all. I said this book is so worn, but that little girl that just left is reading, and I cannot ask for more. I don't know what the DVDs are all about, but she wouldn't sit down and watch no DVD. But this right here, she wants this book.
Mom, you know that spray that says off little streaks are on my back.
Okay, will you go and put your clothes on and then go help Zai? Put your shirt on and go help Zai get her clothes on. So yeah, she will sit down with this book and her little what's upside down? No, the cards are her flashcards, and she will do her phonics just fine and read. and she's just a happy little person. She likes me. I know the other day we did a lesson. We did a new lesson. Normally I introduce it with the tape, but I didn't pull the tape out or the cassette player out. So she kept telling me, get the tape, get the tape. So but yeah, she wants that tape. She won't let you what? You need to go get your clothes. What happened to the video? I'm still here. I had to get up for a minute. This child is. I'm trying to get her clothes back on. So I haven't logged off yet. How did she get water? Whose water spilled on her?
No, they just got the shower.
Who?
Teresa.
Okay, I'm gonna get off anyway. I only intended for an hour, 30 minutes to an hour today, but yeah. You're done? Okay, hold on. I'm getting ready to black screen one more time. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. Let's see. How long has everyone been homeschooling? Arla asked. You all still here? Well, I'm not homeschooling grandchildren, but you all know I have 22, 20, 19, 17, 15, 6, 6, 5, and 4. So a long time. Um, for me, my kids, we didn't, homeschooling was not a term. It was just something that I did. was just one to not, even with the mindset of sending them to school. I just felt that they needed to know things like how to read before they went to school. That's not the teacher's job to teach them how to read. The teacher had to deal with a whole bunch of behaviors in kindergarten, and and if your child get that first year teacher, that's a lot. You know, they're going to end up, the child will kind of suffer because of that. But, I've never been one to feel that. So, you teach them all the basic preschool concepts and all the way till they learn how to read. That's what I feel is you need to do. So, that's what I did with my kids, starting when they were born. My mom did the same thing with me. I just found the old one. Let's see. The older version is more detailed, in my opinion. We have both. I prefer the older one. Yeah, I have something of the new version, a piece of something, and yeah, the older version is more detailed. And we use the big kids use the SRA portion for their reading comprehension, and they use it with the tape. So yeah, we still use that. Yeah, I think I shared in the blog not that long ago. Old version works. You say I just found the old one at a sale for $9 last year. About 12 years total. We've been homeschooling with our 4 older children and now 8 with the younger ones. Arla says I started with my 5 kids in '92, and now I'm homeschooling grandkids, so a total of 25 years. That is awesome. So you have taught a lot of children how to read. That is awesome. It's fun. I'm pretty sure, with the grandkids. That's a good one. And I like to see how you get excited when you pull up at the yard sale. You come back with all the books. Excuse me. I know I had to stop myself at the thrift store because the books are only a dime, and you could go crazy, but um, it's there are certain books that I buy and certain books I don't buy. We don't read twaddle, uh, and a lot of books that I do buy, they're replacements of books that we lost. So I'm not just because it's a dime or it's 20 cents or 5 for $1. That's not why I'm buying a book. It's a purpose behind every book. Even if it's a lot of books, within that lot has to be at least half the books that I actually am familiar with before I even purchase it. So, and I've learned that, the little cartoony, the kids, those are the books that they just toss aside. They don't like to read stuff like that. Um, Unfortunately, my husband is completely on board with homeschooling, and that speaks volumes. Like I said, a lot of times it's just one sided. Dad just kind of falls in line, with the mom saying I'm homeschooling, or dad will say, I want you to homeschool, and then mom has no say. And I don't know. I think that's kind of unfortunate because mom is the one that has to actually teach it. And yeah, if you don't have any say, I don't know how that works. I said that homeschooling is it becomes a major part of a major, dynamic in the family, but it's not the first thing. You don't just start out homeschooling. So a lot of things, budget wise and things like that, those are decisions that should have already been taken care of. There shouldn't be any conflict. Whether if it's $20 or $200, you buying it for the kids, go buy it. Why does there have to be a family meeting every single time? Now, I understand that some people have a problem buying stuff. Well, of course, there's in every marriage there is I want to say a chief, but there's one person that handles money better. Because one person is going to pay the bills before the deadline, and one person is going to pay the bills 2 weeks after the deadline. Obviously, the one that pays the bills beforehand should be the one that kind of controls the money. They're going to make better decisions anyway. That's a no-brainer. And so y'all know which one I am. Um, yeah, and I don't owe people. I don't do debt. So it's just like, because I don't want nobody calling me. Don't call me. And in fact, you can't call me. If I owe you, my phone is going to be off because I'm going to pay you. You can't call me. That's just how it is. I'm going to forego that luxury, but I don't owe anybody. So, but yeah, I think, like I said, if you're, mom is the one that is teaching, mom needs to have, and doing the research. Uh, decision can't come down to, well, okay, you can show me this and you can tell me about this, but I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to buy it. Well, you're not the one that's using it. Dish over the money and keep going, or you do the research and you teach it, because that's going to cause conflict right there. And that's a whole nother, that has nothing to do with homeschooling. That's a whole nother control issue within the marriage, because that's how you run your whole household, not just homeschooling. So, I had a friend of mine, Arla says, I had a friend of mine years ago that wanted to homeschool. She could not get her husband to get on board. My advice, do not homeschool if your husband is kids. Exactly. Like I said, when it comes to the money, if it's a grip on the wallet, you might as well forget it. And if he's the one that is presenting, you have to homeschool the child or the children, and then it's still gripping the wallet, you need to question him. Yes, you have to pray and ask God to change his heart. Yes, but until God does that, do not go ahead and homeschool. Exactly, Arla. No matter what he says or however he presents it to you, unless he's just saying, "Here's this curriculum here," you it's just going to cause conflict. It costs money. Bottom line, the husband is not ignorant. But to control that money like that, to where you cannot get anything or what you need, because you're the one there, you know what you need. He might be able to go, if you go to conventions or what have you, even if he's watching the videos or he's going to the the resource stores or something. You know what you need because you're the one using it every day. If he's teaching math, then okay, well, he can have a little more say. But if you're the one using it, he's going to have to bend. And if he's not willing to do that, and you know that right off, that's why I say you have to be honest. Don't be a half. Don't try to live the half when you're half not. You don't need to homeschool. You have no business. That's not your calling. Okay, you can't manipulate something like that. You heard that calling wrong. That's what that is. That was the wrong number. Vicky says that's good advice in my opinion. Hopefully, whoever is watching this later on will understand. But this, like I said, okay, this is three of us saying the same thing. Um, yeah, it's just not. It's not. If somebody's against it, don't do it. Everybody has to be on board, and it has to be wholeheartedly on board. Not, I need $100. Well, what you need $100 for? You gotta ask 50 questions. Forget it. If I have to do all of that, forget it. Let me go put this kid in school, and when I need $100 for school clothes, I dare you to bat an eye. You take the kid and sign the kid up for school, since you want to question why I need it. Or better yet, the school supplies. Yeah, some things, I mean, in the first couple of years, it's going to be little bitty things like that, but they shouldn't be something, one or two incidents. It shouldn't be an ongoing battle. And when you first have children and that question first comes to the table, that there's discord right there. Somebody's going out. Oh, I want to. What do you want to eat? I want to eat this. I want to eat that. Okay, well, fine. You want to eat this. I want to eat that. When you really didn't want to, you didn't want to eat what he eating. You don't even want to cook that. Don't settle for something if you really don't want it. Don't accept it, especially when you're the one that has to deal with the majority of it. He's gone to work. Let him. He should be able to recognize he has to sacrifice. That's his sacrifice. I might get the man's opinion right now. Hold on, cause he's home. So anyway, I don't know if he's gonna come in here, but some of this is like what we were talking about earlier this week. So it's a spinoff, and we agree. But if he does come in here, no, wait, it's not time for that yet. I know you're excited. Wait. Oh, let me go back. You, not now. You can wait a minute. It's not time yet. Um, yeah, don't settle for something. If that's truly because it will make you unhappy and it will cause more struggle and strife down the line. And you already, especially if you don't know what you're doing, you have no experience in teaching, or you have this one child in general, and you're just starting out. The child has not gone to school. This is a whole new uncharted territory. You don't want to start off frightened and discouraged already because you're having to settle for something that you really didn't want.
Mom's real to dad what we made.
Shh. It's a secret. So it's best to just leave it alone. And if he does not recognize that, this is why you're not willing to homeschool the children, then yeah, that's really something you have to take up in prayer, because like I said, it has nothing to do with homeschooling. It has to do with how your marriage is running in general. It's not a bad thing. A lot of parents, uh, the dad has nothing to do with the homeschool. They just know the kid is homeschooled, and I mean that's not a bad thing though, because they trust mom's judgment. Mom has to do what dad cannot do because dad has to go to work. That's dad's job. He's got to go to work. He's not going to question, anything. He will see the results of the homeschooling when he's home. And I'm sure that's something that you discuss among yourselves. If I have a problem with somebody not doing something or I need help, then I'm saying, hey, go to your dad. And I did that the other day. I could not vlog, but it was yeah. In a few minutes. You guys are so, where's he at? Well, you have to wait till he comes out. When he, when he comes out, you can give it to him. So, yeah, I kind of took it to him, but it just, his patience is not my patience, let me say that. He teaches adults, he doesn't teach kids. So, he taught at college, but he's not a kid teacher. So, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of diffused the situation between us, but yeah. Where did he go? Um, with the boy, not so much. You have to tell him to come in right there. Oh, man. Wild one. You want to go get your dad so you can give him his stuff? Okay, well, go get him. You have to ask him to come here. No, but daddy's scared. He actually did his own video. It's been a while ago. I think it was like around like December or something. A couple years ago. It was a homeschool dad's perspective. Where did they go? Come here, Terry. Here, let me get it. So, I'm going to end this in a minute though. But they want to give their dad something. Hold on, you have to give him. Wait a minute, let me pass them out. This one is yours. This one is yours. Here. This one is yours. And this one is yours. Very nice.
Look in the back of it.
And so I did a little vlog about that. We don't particularly do Father's Day, but around this time of the year, we'd stop for doing like keepsakes for school, um, yearbooks, and things like that. And so he needs stuff in his office, so they made him something. And it just happens to be a Father's Day type craft, but it's customizable to anybody. So that's what that is. But I will get that little bit up tomorrow so that you guys can see what it is. But yeah, they like to make him pictures and cards. Mine was making me a card yesterday. So let me see your picture. Let me see yours on. Okay, now, you want to show me yours? So this is what you made. It's Dad. This is a hand you used to hold when I was 5 years old. And then we did her handprint. And then on the flip, I just put a couple pictures. So, you want to say hello? No? You don't have anything to say? If Oh, you don't want to say anything. Here, take that out of your mouth. You just said you don't want to say anything. I was going to ask you a question. Never mind. Here. So here's hers. I think these pictures I took in the fall. So when I take pictures, I like to. One of them, my son has a group picture of all of them by this tree. So I try to think about when we need to make something. The pictures that I take. Here's our. And so this is a mouse pad. So and did you see Tariq's with the all of them on the back? Or you can hang it up. But that was my idea, a mouse pad. So since you don't want to say anything, I'll leave you. Huh? Oh, I'm just about done. But I was asking about Dad's opinion. That's why I said something. So about buying homeschool curriculum. A couple people were agreeing that if one person is opposed to things, then you shouldn't homeschool. Remember, I was talking about buying stuff. How we don't ask each other, we just buy it if we see it. If somebody doesn't agree, should you have to go ask the other person to buy stuff all the time? So you should just be able to go buy. I mean, using common sense. Shouldn't that be something? What I was saying was that's not specifically related to homeschool. Your spending habits has nothing to do with homeschool because you were a couple before you even had kids. And if somebody's questioning what you're buying homeschool wise, they've been questioning what you're buying. They've been, somebody's been holding the wallet all along. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that's what a couple other people were saying. So they were saying, like I said, if somebody has a problem with letting go of that wallet, then homeschooling is not the right option. That's not the most affordable option. You have to be able to spend. Okay, yeah. And somebody said that earlier. They know that they may be willing to spend more money the older they get, and it's not about how much they spend; it's the quality of what they're getting. So that's what I was trying to talk about. Value doesn't equate to cost. Value does not equate to cost. So I'm done. If you're done, if you're done. Oh boy, that's life. So, but yeah, that was a conversation we had the other day around here. We were just talking about that, and it just was making me think. And yeah, he brought up the public school issue thing. The cost of the teacher, and we're paying the salary and the taxes and things like that. And I said, yeah, but I think, when I kind of bring it, a lot of times I'm still saying be careful of what you consider, a budget and cheap and all of that. You don't want to cut your quality being cheap. You want quality. You can be cheap, but you still want quality. So, yeah, that's something we were actually conversating about around here. Hey, Tariq or Layla or somebody, come here. So, again, we see eye to eye. He brings stuff to me all the time, and it's not anything outrageous that I can't use. Come here, Tariq or Layla. Layla, come here. Go carry that to your dad carefully. Don't bend it. Don't drop it. Yeah, I had we have we have to we pray over things. We don't, though we agree, we still have to pray over things. And can we, we can't just go spend out. Okay, we all have kids and a lot of kids around here. There's a lot of kids, more than what you see. So we really have to think, and a lot of older kids and college kids. So we have to think about things. But we say you have to be smart about it and know that yes, you are going to have to step out of your comfort zone. So for somebody that is considering homeschooling and not, the spouse is not kind of in the know, point them in the direction of this, let them know that there was another male present to, you know, to weigh in, not just what us women were putting out there. But I noticed that it's us older women that, weighed in on that tip, and it's experience. You live and learn. 'Cause trust me, we didn't start out that way. We probably would have never thought that way. It's just something that happens. You have to experience lends itself to that. Let's see. Follow course says quick tip. I purchase books at the thrift and resell them to Book Scouter app example. Wow, I purchased a book for around 25 cents, 50 cents, up to $1 and sold it for 5, even 8. Even found one worth $30. Wow. Somewhere for I allow my money to build up in my PayPal account. Purchase items on my school wish list. I consider it to be a small investment to build up to the larger item. Yes, that's what I do. So every little bit I can save on, that's what I do. I don't want unnecessary library fines, any of that. I try to buy the books as frugally as possible. Every now and then I have to purchase one book, like single books, and I'm fine with that. I've gotten by with buying 10-cent books forever, 20-cent books forever. So I'm fine with having to purchase that book outright. Of course, it's going to be a used book, or it may even be new, but it's going to be the cheapest way I can get it because eventually there's going to be something that I need um, that is going to cost a lot more money. Tarika's in trouble, and you in that thing. Oh my gosh, girl, graduate already. Harlan says, I like that quick tip. We have been in here 2:09. So I am going to get ready to end this chat, and I'm still looking at that as Mocha Daddy camera shot. Oh goodness. He was just, when you just get off work, you don't want to be bothering nobody. But, um, I knew the kids were waiting, and I knew too I would not be able to vlog that if I'm sitting here. So that's the reason why I let them go ahead and give him his stuff. Um, but yeah, that's too funny. But then, what's the matter with you? You gave your dad his present? Hmm? You lost a what? You lost your envelope? Oh, goodness. Goodness, goodness. You don't know what happened to it? Would you like another one? Okay, let me get you another envelope. I don't know what she was doing yesterday, but she last night came in here. She was cutting up paper, and then she eventually said, she asked me, "Here, can I have an envelope?" So she stuck her paper in her envelope. That's my child that cleans up. I don't care if it's lunchtime or dinner time or whatever. If she made a mess, she or is using something, she will stop and clean it up, and she gets upset if they try to leave this room and don't clean up. So that's my little helper. And she knew after she cut up those paper scraps that she better do something with it or she gonna get in trouble. Oh boy. So I will see you all on the next chat. Probably sometime Sunday. It could be Monday, but Sunday. And you all know the Sunday chats are usually, for women issues, women topics. That's for us to just get together and hang out. If we were to have lunch together, um, what would we talk about? So I would like us to be able to just come on, and if you want to eat while watch the chat, join the chat, go ahead. But yeah, that's what it's meant for. So I will see you all Sunday, and I will have a new vlog up tomorrow. So what is that right now? Have some. Help her go find her paper. Sit down and think about those questions, and have that discussion within your home. Seriously, serious topic. Okay, seriously, can you really afford to do this? Okay, peace.